his truck as a dismount.
What? Hang on. What happened?
Shit, man. We can't get into all this yet. All right.
Why?
We need to cut cord because we're gonna do this again and we're gonna record it.
Oh, I just hit the record button.
Oh fuck, man! You're about an hour late.
I know, right? Like just now, I was like, dude, I'm just at least gonna give him some audio to work with or something.
Right? Like
yeah.
Like you done told all your badass stories, and now I'm telling my boring ass stories. Like, you're fucking late now, dude.
Right? No, I don't know. I think that, like I was saying, like everybody's role. Like I see the value, or I saw the value in everybody's role in the military. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
I never felt like what I was doing wasn't important. You know, like when I first joined, I was working at a hobby shop, like a morale shop. You know, I maintained morale boats.
Yeah.
And so people would come up to the hobby shop and they'd just rent crazy stuff, kayaks and boats and whatnot for a training center, the aviation training center in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, Elizabeth City. And I mean, even there, I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet as far as a job, you know, like an MOS or a rate, right? Some services call it a rate, some call it MOS. I didn't know yet, you know, what I was going to do. So, I mean, I had a good time there. And then once Operation Iraqi Freedom happened, it just kind of took me off on a whole different path altogether, you know. So, yeah, it was a good time. 8 years. I actually met another Coastie a few days, actually a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
A guy called me out to do a quote for his home. He wanted to add a front porch and a deck and a pergola and just all kinds of crazy stuff. And so as I'm standing there, I'm looking through the trees, right? And I see these women walking down the street, and the clothing that they had on caused me to take a second look, like, what are you doing, right? And so the guy kind of giggled. He was like, he said, "Yeah, man, don't worry, they're nuns." And and they came around the trees a little more, and I was sure enough they were nuns. He said, "For some reason, I've got like a bunch of nuns around here." And he looked at me. He's like, "I know, I get you." He said, "Were you in the service?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Me too." And of course, we asked each other which one. And I told him the Coast Guard. And come to find out, he was too. And dude, you never meet Coasties, like hardly ever.
Especially not inland. I mean,
right?
You know, most Coasties, they get out and they settle in, you know, California, Florida, you know, somewhere on the coast.
Yep. I have no idea. Like, I really don't know why I chose to go into a seagoing service when I'm from the mountains. I really don't. The thought of search and rescue, you know, I wanted to put my energies and efforts towards rescuing people, you know, because I always, for some reason, you know, when I was playing Army as a kid, you know, we played Army and Cowboys and the Indians and all that stuff, you know. I was always the dude that was giving medical help to people. Always. You know what I mean? Like, I was the dude that was like, "Don't worry, bro, I'm just going to pile some sticks on your leg and you'll be good." You know, like, I was just always
and fucking drag them across the yard.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, okay, I have healing powers, you're healed, now let's go. Right? I was always that dude, so I always, you know, valued the idea of saving somebody, and felt that, you know, I was a little bit stronger and bigger than the average individual, so I thought that maybe, you know, God has given me a calling here and the passion to save people. Right? Maybe that's who I am. My name is Samson. That means brave protector. That's just kind of who I am, right? So, so maybe that was it. I don't know, but I really don't know why I joined a seagoing service, because I fucking hate the water.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the beach, dude. I mean, you can ask my wife. I hate the beaches. It's not my cup of tea at all. It's not my mind of a vacation at all. And two things. I don't know why I joined the seagoing service because I hate the water, right? And then two, I used to jump out of helicopters for a living, and I am fucking deathly afraid of heights.
Hey, me too. Air assault right here, buddy.
Right, like my entire career, I was scared shitless, dude.
Yeah.
Like
and it never gets easier. Like people think, you go fast rope out of the helicopter a few times, it gets easier and you just get used to it. No, every single time is just as terrifying as the last time. And every time you have to overcome that fear and do it again, Every
single time. But you're correct. You don't get over it.
And honestly, to me, fast roping wasn't that bad because you grab onto something and slide down the rope. To me, rappelling was way worse. Lean over backwards and trust everything and not really see where you're going.
Yeah. If you have to go down facing forward too. Yeah, screw that. But I don't know. Maybe your birds were set up differently. We had Jayhawks, right? A version of it, right?
Of the Black Hawk, yeah. So
of the Black Hawk, right? You can accessorize them in different ways, but it was just a version of that. So, in order to fast rope, you had to fast rope out of one of the doors. And in order to do that, you had to have a fries bar. The fries bar was mounted at the top of the helo frame, and it slid outward out the door and locked into position, and then that was then connected to your fast rope, right?
Sounds right.
So, right there. So while you're flying, right. As you're flying along, that fries bar is slid inward so the door can close. You get close to the target, they open the door, slide the fries bar out, lock it in place, and so you're ready to go. They flare out over the target, boom, flight mech looks, dumps the bag, down it goes. He taps the first assaulter on the head, and out you go. Well, that first assaulter is on the ground. He's like on his butt, right? So he's leaving out on his butt. Everybody else is leaving out on their feet, meaning you walk up to the door on your feet. You don't sit down, right, and slide outwards. You just walk up to it. But that fries bar was just far enough away to where you had to take a leap of faith to reach it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like you could hold onto the bird securely, easily reach out and grab this rope, and then switch your hands and down you go. No. It was just far enough out to where you had to go past the point of no return and lunge a little to get it.
Yeah.
So if you missed that rope, Jack, your ass is falling 70 feet straight to your death.
Look, sir, you are Private Blackburn.
Exactly, right? So that little leap of death right there was the most horrifying thing for me, dude, on a weekly basis. Like, my military career was terrifying. I was always a nervous wreck, like always a nervous wreck. But somebody once said that we perform better when we're cold, tired, a little scared.
Yeah.
So
you know what's crazy? So actually, I'm about to post a story tomorrow about my first and only air assault mission I ever did in combat. Right?
Nice.
It was on my first deployment.
Virgin jump.
What's up?
So the Virgin jump.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. First of all, it was a touch and go.
Oh, those are better though, honestly.
Right.
It's easier.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I mean, it was in the middle of the night, and I don't want to give it away because it's cool. The whole story is what happened as soon as I got out of the bird.
Yeah.
But that was 2006. I went to air assault school in 2010.
Ooh.
And learned how to do an air assault.
Right.
But after I did air assault school, I never once did an air assault mission.
Really?
I did a whole nother deployment, never once did an air assault mission.
Wow. That's one thing that I liked about the Coast Guard. was that we actually got to do what we trained for.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was in the search and rescue side of the house, we actually did a lot of search and rescue. You know what I mean? Like, so you actually got to see yourself in those stressful environments, seeing that your training worked. When you followed the procedures, you followed the commands correctly, it worked. And you build confidence in that, right? Because you know yourself. If you take somebody who's trained and never felt what it's like to actually run an operation, well, you don't really know how they're going to act.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but once you get that first one under your belt, let's take like the first time you ever ran through a shoot house. The very first time I ever ran through a shoot house, where it was full team, live rounds, dudes are in the fucking rooms, and if you fuck up, you're killing an instructor, right? That first fucking bang hit was a game changer.
Yeah.
You know, mentally for you. Like a big game fucking changer. So it was, the more that you see it work, the more faith you build in it, you know. So it was really cool to see, you know, that we got to actually do what we trained for. Once I got into the counterterrorism aspect of it, then the tempo slowed down, right? We did a ton more training than actual operations.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. Always more training. Yeah.
Yes, always more training. And so, you know, that was a big change for me. But the search and rescue side of it, man, was very active. But that also means, dude, a case like the one that's gonna fucking stick in my craw for the rest of my life, dude. You know, like the one that's fucking the kick in the nuts, right? Of your military career. That one was a search and rescue case that went south.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So. I'm gonna need a beer for this one.
Hold up.
Okay.
You recording this?
I am. I've got mine going on my end, but you may want to put yours on your end, too.
Dude, I got headphones on. I'm sitting in my office. I got no way to record it right now. So this is all you.
Okay, yeah. I think I've got...
I was going to say, if you want to keep it light for a second.
Right.
So you were talking about going through shoot houses and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, so between my first and second deployment, I was in at Fort Carson, Colorado. You know, it's home of the 10th Group, SF, Green Berets. You know, well, I was in 110 Cav, and the TOF right across from ours was the support unit for 10th Group, right?
Okay.
So the guys that support 10th Group. Well, somehow we worked it out so that we could use 10th Group's shoot range, right?
Nice.
Yeah, it's this awesome range, right? Like we don't you don't use live rounds at it. You use sim rounds, you know, the little blue rounds in the magazines and shit. You know,
filled with paint.
Yeah. It's like airsoft, but you know.
They hurt like hell, don't they? Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, we used to use those all the time. Sim rounds, yeah.
Well, yeah, so we're using sim rounds, right? And we're doing them at this 10th Group range, right? It's awesome range. Everything is recorded. You know, they have video cameras everywhere to record every move you make on the range. And just a whole village of houses and stuff that you can clear, right?
Nice.
Yeah, and it's fucking awesome. And then you can go back and watch yourself, right?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. So,
dude,
to use sim rounds, I'm regular Army, right? I'm not 10th Group. I'm not SF. I'm the Cav Scout, right? We have to put safety measures in place, right? So we have to wear goggles and face masks.
Sure.
Simmer. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever tried to clear a building wearing goggles and a face mask?
Yes, dude, you can't see shit.
Yeah, you can't see shit, right?
You can't see shit.
You can't
Yep.
see a damn thing, right?
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
the first video I see of me and my team clearing the house, I go to kick a door in,
Uh-huh.
and I kick it, and I kick it again,
Uh-huh.
and I kick it again, and I keep kicking it, and I throw my
Right.
shoulder into it, and I kick it again, and finally it starts to budge and move
Uh-huh.
open, and I slide in it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the hinges were facing the other way.
Oh, dude, it was a pull door.
Yeah, it was a pull, and it was unlocked. But I could not see that motherfucking door because my shit was all fogged up. I just, kicked in the door to the damn building and cleared 3 rooms. And so I am kicking a pole.
Yep. Dude, that reminds me of a time. This was 2000 and let's see, probably around the 2005, 2006 time frame. We were hitting. We were doing a training op on an oil platform, right? And this oil platform supplied a huge amount of oil. So obviously it was a prime target for certain people, right? So we had to be familiar with hitting and knocking down an oil rig from top to bottom, right? You know, an oil rig is I don't know how far off the water, right? Way the hell up there, right? And so you have 2 options when you get to this oil rig. Either one, you can fly in, land on the helo pad, or you can come up by boat and climb up, right? Which is a set of stairs, right? So, like fucking 30 stories off the water. So, being the medic, I often had a lot of choices that other people didn't. Like, okay, they called me Fox 4. That was my call sign, Fox 4. Nobody had names. We just had call signs on our head, right? And so they call me Doc or Fox 4, one or the other. So the Fox 4, where are you going? You going on the BAF, which is the boat assault force, or the air assault force, meaning you're gonna fly in a fast rope, or you're gonna be on the boats, right? And we had just done a shitload of fast roping onto the Chesapeake Light, which was this massive lighthouse with this little bitty small platform on the top, and we would jump out of the helo and fast rope on top of that little ass fucking platform. And I was like, fuck no, man, I am sick of being in that bird. All right, I'm going on the boat this time. Woo-hoo, easy day, bitches, And so we had just gotten these new gas masks, our Pro masks. These things were designed to be extremely low profile. So you only had one canister out your left side, right? And the right side was like really slim, really narrow, right? Like super small, super sleek. So you could get a good sight picture quickly through your optics, right? Yeah. And so that gas mask, the canister had a plug in it. Like when you first get them, it's got a plastic plug. Pull that plastic plug out of there, right? Well, we hit the target, and I'm on the boat, assault force. Boom, we pull up there, and I'm on the platform. Everybody's holding security. Well, up we go, fellas, right? Flight after flight after flight after flight after flight after flight, right? Turn and goes, stairwells, blah, 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 you know how all that goes. We get to the top. My legs feel like they are just made of straight logs. Like, I can't feel my knees bending anymore. I can't feel my toes anymore. Like, my vision, my vision's getting blurry. Like, whoa, God, those stairs, bad idea. Air assault from here on out. Anyway, we hit this first room, right? The guys stack up. Number 2 gives a signal. Boom, pow! Here we go. Knock down the room. It leads on to another room. Boom, knock that shit down. We're on our way back out, right? And one guy grabs me. He said, Fox 4! And he's looking at me, and his shit is so fogged up that he can't even hardly see out of it. And these Pro masks have this little battery-operated voice box on the front of them to project your voice louder, right? Like a little Darth Vader fucking thing, And so he's talking to me. He's like, "Do you have to turn this thing on or something?" And I'm like, "What, bro?" And you know, there's like engine room noise and shit. You know what I mean? We got freaking comms in one ear and shit. You know, like I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Do you gotta turn this on?" And I'm like, and I'm giving him the it's okay symbol, right? Put your finger and your thumb together, put your 3 fingers up, right? Touch your chest a couple times, meaning I'm okay, right? And then he starts shaking his head no. And I'm like, oh fuck, shit, I got a medical case right here, right? So then I see that his gas mask plug was still in. And yes. And I pull this gas mask plug out, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like he was about to pass out, man. And his shit all cleared up and whatnot. I was like, "You didn't pull the filter out, dude." And then we went on. His name was Ripka. Everybody called him Rip. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Old Rip. Well, listen, dude. I got my 5-year-old here looking at me again, like, "What the hell, Dad?" So
man.
I gotta roll. So let's do this again, brother.
Yeah, we'll do it again. All right, I appreciate it.